Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Today we're back with an opinion video, and usually all the opinion videos it's me giving, my idea on a certain topic about film photography, but today, being in Finland, I'm with Juho from Camera Rescue, and we're going to be debating about a topic that actually came as a spin-off of video for Camera Rescue, which is why 90% of a camera's value is condition. And we were talking about the collector market, about the user market, how things have shifted throughout these, past years. And Juho, as Camera Rescue, has seen a lot of people being collectors 10 years ago, and now a lot of more people being users. So basically, we came to that agreement that it's shifted from collectors to users.
Yeah, it's a quite of a drastic shift, because these books we were talking about on the basic course, it's essentially books with lists and lists of cameras, and they were all the cameras from the 1900s to today, and all of them had a value, and people were loving the kind of technology behind them, and they were making their own personal museums. And when all of a sudden digital came and the price of all of these crashed, they were all around available for pennies, cameras that mostly these guys had been dreaming of their whole youth, and now with money and age they could just collect them all. And then nowadays it's a completely different market. It's people who want to shoot cameras, and they want to get a certain look and get certain cameras, and it's
changed quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'm just going to read out like the listings that it has on the blue book. If somebody wants it, it's the Hove International Blue Book. I'll leave a link below. Probably hard to find or expensive to find. One of the topics is overview on collecting, which I feel like very little people are doing now. Internet collecting, which I guess was a hot topic in 2003. This was. Dating and identifying, which I think is important. It's pretty hard to work if you don't have a book like this. Restoring and storage advice. Again, something that I don't think is so interesting nowadays. Tomorrow's collectibles. That would be interesting for people and the market, because the market in film cameras is going up by the second and sometimes going down, but mostly up. And landmark cameras. So yeah, the thing I've seen is a lot of people have contacted me in Spain. I'm Camera Rescue Spain for collaborating with them. And a lot of people contact me because they have a collection from their parents or father who was going to start a museum or things like this, and they collected every camera they could get their hands on. Most of these cameras were usually Instamatic, Polaroid, whatever models. What was the name of the lantern, magic lantern cameras, things like that. That yes, has a collectible value, but most people were buying these cameras to just put on a shelf in a museum. Yeah. Even camera makers had dummies, which were for camera stores and maybe even for museums.
Yeah.
And now it's the other way around.
Yeah, and the other book was full of societies where you would collect, and obviously before the internet, collecting was much harder. Also, you needed books, and you needed to go to events, and then you would finally find that thing that you can now Google in 10 seconds and find it. So kind of the I would know the shininess or the appealing in collecting has gone down, while then again the interest in film as a medium, obviously that was just photography in 2000 or 1990s. It was just photography. There was no film photography and digital photography. Now there is film, and it's a medium that people are interested in.
Yeah, one of the things that I think also changed the market is the fact that as cameras were getting more into the users that maybe had dreamt about these cameras, because I was one of those that saw Hasselblads being sold for the fraction of a digital full frame camera and decided to try film again and fell in love, as you all know. And basically a lot of the things in value has been the fact, can you shoot it anymore? Cameras that don't have film available or easily available. Okay guys, I know there's people cutting 126 film and 110 film, but like easy access to film easy access to shooting these cameras have driven the prices down. Only a couple probably very important, like they said here, landmark cameras have maintained a value as collectibles.
Yeah.
But the whole idea now is that people want to shoot them. I actually contacted Yuho maybe a year ago because someone offered me golden Hasselblads, you know, the special edition 25 anniversary or something like that, or 50 anniversary golden cameras, and he had bought them as an investment, probably here with what was it, Tomorrow's Collectibles, and he probably paid full premium price from Hasselblad, and he wanted to sell them because he needed the money for something. And I actually talked to Yuho, and they were like, well, these cameras are hard to sell because there's not that many collectors nowadays, and the price that they would probably pay will be close to the same or less than they were when this man bought them new. Yeah. And I actually even offered, like, I would buy them myself, but the problem is I want to use it. Like, yeah. I'm a user, I'm not a collector. So when I buy cameras, I don't mind that they have a little nick here, or they're used, and that's why the market has changed. And another thing that we wanted to talk a little bit about is the pricing, like how things have gone up in price and how those cameras that were really not interesting years ago are getting more interest slowly.
Yeah, I mean, the Hasselblad that kind of proves the point that someone will buy it for use right now, like a bit blingy use, but like anyhow, someone will buy it to be used, not to be held in a you know, cupboard in the middle of your, and there's this whole KonMari thing also going on where people are trying to get rid of excess stuff and not do collections and things like that. And I think one also very important thing that has changed in the last 10 years is that women have come back to film, because when digital came, it was like the easy format, so there was a lot of like the basic photographers moved to that. Artists stayed in film, and we have women that have stick to film the whole time. But now there is a lot of it used to be 5 years ago that the film camera market was 90% dominated by men, and now there's more and more women, and with more and more women, the product the camera makes, it becomes much more important than the actual camera itself.
Yeah, what I've found, I teach workshops in Spain, and what I've always found is all my students are interested in film and shooting film, but usually, and I'm saying usually because I don't like generalizing, but the men are more interested in testing cameras, and the women that have come to my workshops are more interested in not really knowing what the camera can do sometimes, but the results. Yeah. And I think that's very interesting to see a change sometimes, that a lot of cameras that were forgotten to have been brought back because the results are interesting, even though they're not collectible or pretty or, you know, like sexy as a camera, like a beast of a Pentax or something like that.
Yeah, so that is also affecting the prices. And with the prices, I think what is happening is that there was maybe 2 years ago, there was this very high end of a few models that were getting the prices were rising at 100% a year or more, and now it's kind of opening up so that, you know, any brand compact camera is worth suddenly something. Yeah. When like 3 years ago, a Canon super zoom blah 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 was
worth nothing. Yeah, one of the things that we notice, at least I have, is that Hasselblad cameras have always been a pretty, you know, good camera to have as a medium format, and the prices have always been at the ballpark of around €1,000 for a whole compact camera, like the whole Hasselblad. Of course, there's always things to consider, condition, stores, or buying it from users, but like it's been €1,000, €1,500 could be a very price for the last 10 years almost, like mostly,
or even less,
yeah. But like you would go to a Bronica like a ETRS or something, and you could buy them for 150 euros, you could buy them for 200. But now the Hasselblads are still there. A lot of people are like, okay, those are 1,500 to 2,000 maybe now, but the Bronicas are slowly rising. The same thing with like the point and shoots, the Contax T2s, T3s have gone up in price, but they've kind of hit, not the top, but they've hit a pretty high price. And now every camera surrounding that ecosystem has also slowly gone up. So now the Olympus MJs are going up, the Olympus MJ 1s and 2s. Then we have like the Fuji Class and the Rollies and all these cameras that were like the second or third, round of premium cameras have slowly risen. And that's interesting because a lot more people are taking these cameras out of their collections of collectors and putting them in the market. And a lot of people are opening their drawers and finding their grandma's point and shoot and being like, ooh, this is exciting. How much is it worth? And they're finding the prices to be very different.
Yeah, and I think that's why also we've been working in this same set at doing the camera rescue basic course, so that people would go and find the cameras from like forgotten places and bring them to the market, because there is a demand for them, and the cameras won't, they're still the biggest threat to a camera is a garbage can, like a recycling pot. That's the biggest threat to a film camera worldwide, because there is still 98% who don't really care about cameras or even the look or film photography in general.
Yeah, also, one of the things we see is try to get those cameras out of the wardrobe, out of boxes. Fungus, humidity, things like that will always affect, and that's very bad for electronic cameras especially, but all cameras in general. So yeah, I'll be posting the video for what videos that Juho mentioned from Camera Rescue. About 90% of the condition the value is condition, and how to source and price cameras, which I think is very interesting. Because as a user and buyer myself, I don't resell cameras, but like I always like knowing what the pricing can be. And I feel like these books have dated not so great as they probably authors thought. Nobody expected what would happen to the market. Yeah. But I think those videos will be helpful to show you also what the price is currently, how to price it, and know where to buy and how to buy. So yeah, guys, this is an opinion video. What do you think? Have you seen a change in the market? Have you seen a lot of collections being dumped onto the internet or local groups? Have you found, I'm sure, lots of great deals out there? Have you taken any great deals that were a lemon in the end, which is also a sad day when you buy like this Bronica RF645 and then find out that the aperture doesn't do anything and the advanced lever is loose? Let me know in the comments, and thank you, Juho, for joining me today on an opinion video.
We could talk about this forever.
We had to sit down here and came out with 6 different opinion videos. So you'll see a couple probably throughout these weeks that I'm in Finland. Yeah. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.